Okay, so to begin the DIY, I'm starting off with my picture frames. Now I want my whole window pane to be black, so this is why I picked up the black picture frame. But if you want a different color, you can definitely just remove the glass and the cardboard and then just paint your frame and then assemble everything back together once it's dry. So to glue these together, I normally just glue two of the frames side by side in groups of two. So I would glue these two together first and then the other two together separately. And then once they have dried for a bit, then I will take the top and the bottom and then glue them together. I also will hold my picture frames together with the clamps from the Dollar Tree. And the glue that I will be using to keep this all together is mainly E6000 glue, but I also will be using my hot glue just to add a couple dabs here and there to keep the frame in place until the E6000 glue has dried really nicely. So let me go ahead, glue these together, and then we'll move on to the next step. I also want to mention that the top of this decor piece, I want to make sure that the metal hangers are at the top, and then this way, once I'm complete, my last step will probably be just looping some jute twine, tying it to one end here, and then very tightly tying it to the other end so that I can hang my piece up. I also will add a little bit of E6000 glue between the metal hanger and then the cardboard here, just to make sure that that metal hanger stays in place once it is hung on the wall. I have removed my clamps, and now I will be gluing down with my E6000 glue some popsicle sticks. Now these are the larger popsicle sticks from the Dollar Tree, and these work perfectly because they cover both ends of the frames very nicely. So I have laid down 5 in the center, and then I placed 2 on each side, which I did have to cut down a little bit so that they would fit nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that down, and again allow that to dry. So now this next part is where you can have a lot of fun and get really creative. I love this DIY because it is a DIY that you can keep up all year round, and just change out the backs to the picture frames to go with each season, or even personalize it for a special occasion. It's even great if you want to place family photos inside of the frames. Really, the possibilities are endless. The Dollar Tree has great items that they sell in bulk. For example, today I will be using the leaves that come in 50, 75, and 100 pieces per package. And I will be gluing them on to my backings, but even if you want to use the shelf liner or burlap or tissue paper or wrapping paper, they have such beautiful wrapping paper and tissue paper. I remember last year in the US, the red truck wrapping paper being hauled. I don't believe we got it here in Canada, but hopefully this year we will, because I think that would look absolutely beautiful as a backdrop to this DIY. But really, again, the possibilities are endless, and it's just a lot of fun to be able to keep such a good sized piece all year round, where you really don't have to store it, and you could just change it out. So I removed all the backings to the frames, and I have the white piece of, well, the piece of paper that came in the frame. I just simply turned it around and I will be hot gluing my leaves and filling up the white piece of paper. Once I have completed all 4 pieces of paper, I will place them back in the frame, secure them, and then we'll move on to the next step. I have inserted all my leaf sheets inside of the picture frames. I'm not going to show you quite yet because I want to show you once I place the wreath on how beautiful it looks. But before I move on to the wreath, I went ahead and I inserted my jute twine in the metal hangers. So I did get the jute twine from the Dollar Tree, and it is the green jute twine that comes in the 3-pack, and I made it double thick. I inserted it on the one end, double knotted it, and then I pulled it really tight and then double knotted it on this end as well. I also added some E6000 glue as well as some hot glue just to keep that in place. Now keep in mind, when you go to remove the panels, you will have to remove these 2 at the same time because they are now joined with the jute twine. Now let's move on to the wreath. Okay, so now we're going to put the wreath together. It's very simple, it doesn't take a lot of time, and there's very few items to this. So I have the metal wreath ring, and it is the round one. And then I have a package of the metal words. There are 3 in this package, but I'll only be using 1. And then I have 2 of the men's buffalo check, black and white buffalo check scarves. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off the end of each scarf so that there'll only be the fringe on one end of both scarves. Where I have cut them off, I will join them, and I'm going to hot glue them together to form one long scarf. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And once I've done that, I will begin wrapping the scarf around the wreath. So you can see in the center here that my checks didn't line up. But it really doesn't matter because you're not going to notice it once we're wrapping it around the wreath. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my scarf and I'm going to fold it in half. Okay, so now I just took my scarf that is folded in half, and I'm just going to place it, like put it in behind, and just pull it through the center of the ring and hang it over the very top. Now I have, from the top of the hanger here, or of the metal wreath, I have let it hang 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm gonna let it hang about 6 squares. Okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put my hand and grab the back and the front to hold it tightly in place. Okay? And then, let me do it with this hand. And then taking the scarf, I'm going to begin wrapping it around. So I go from under, and I go over, and I just throw it in the center, and I pull tight. Okay, so now that The part where I have let it hang is just going to stay firmly in place, and later when I'm done, I'm going to take that fringe that I cut off and then just tie it together here at the bottom. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to continue wrapping until I have gone all the way around the wreath form. So here is my wreath. I have completely wrapped it. Once I got to the end, I just pulled on both ends of the scarf, because by pulling it, you're going to stretch that material and it'll give you more room to tie your end off. So here I just tied it in a knot, and then I just played around with the ends to have them sit as I want them to. Just like that, and it worked out perfectly. They're pretty well lined up. Now I have those two pieces that I cut off on the scarves where I glued them together. So with one of the ends, I'm just going to, not that my knot is going to come apart, but I'm just going to take this, and again I can stretch it just to make it a bit longer. And then I'm just going to tie it around that center just to keep everything nicely in place. And then with the ends, you can have them hang, but I don't want them to, so I'm just going to tuck them in the back here so that you can't see them. Let me tuck them over here. Okay, and it'll just cover up that little gap there where the knot is. And then with the other piece, what I did was, I don't want to glue my sign down in case I want to remove this and then place something else inside. I want to have it so that I can detach it. So with that other piece, I cut it in half after I stretched it, and then I just tied it around each end of the metal work. Quickly wanted to show you another way you could use these wreaths. What I love about these wreaths is that they're very lightweight, and these wreaths I will actually be putting on the back of my dining room chairs like this, and I think that they really look nice for the fall and winter months because of the scarf material. It just really adds a nice warm cozy feel. And this is this dining room set that I have here in my dining room was actually my parents', and I never really liked the fabric on the chairs. It was like a green and an orange and cream color, and it really does look nice for the fall season, but I ended up just purchasing some slip covers, the kind that you would use for banquet chairs for a wedding or a party. I just ordered them off online, and they are spandex, so they do stretch, and they worked really nicely with my chairs. So I think this buffalo check, as I do have it around my house, looks really nice with this wreath. Again, it's lightweight, so it's not a lot of weight on the chair pulling on the fabric. And all I did was I purchased these over the door hooks from the Dollar Tree. You get 2 in a pack. I have hauled these, and right now it is not painted. I will be spray painting it black, but it works perfectly. to hold my wreath on my chair. So I just thought I would go ahead and share this one with you. I haven't yet started making them. I just started with this one for this DIY, but I thought I would just share this with all of you as well. If you like the idea, maybe it's something that you could use with your chairs as well. All right, so I'm now ready to attach or hang my wreath to my window pane. Now there's a couple different ways that you can do this. The first is by using the over-the-door hooks, which I showed you. I use these on my dining room chair to hang the wreath. You could just as easily hang this over the picture frame and then hang your wreath from that. This way it's not a permanent option to keep this wreath always attached, and you can use this decor piece without the wreath, and you could just place pictures in there, or you can put really nice sayings for the different seasons or Bible verses, whatever you want, but it just gives you a little bit more options with using this. Or you could also purchase from the Dollar Tree the self-adhesive hooks. You get 4 in a package. I would only need to use 1. So these have the sticky backs to them. As long as you prep your surface and clean it really well, these do hold up to 3 pounds, and you will have no problem with this wreath because it is very lightweight. Unless of course you want to add some flowers or picks to this, which again, this is really nice too because you can always tuck it into the scarf. You don't have to glue it down, or you could also use cable ties if you want to make it more secure. But if you are going to be adding a little bit more weight to it and you really want to use this piece with your wreath, then I would also suggest just adding a bit of hot glue to the back of this and then placing it on the window pane. So I'm going to go ahead and attach my wreath and show you what it looks like on the window. Just before I show you what the project looks like together, I just wanted to mention this in doing this project, what I found with how I placed the jute twine in the back. Now, what I would recommend if you do want to hang this up on the wall is that instead of placing the jute twine at the top here where I put it tied with the metal hangers, I would actually recommend that you place the jute twine where the popsicle sticks are here, and then just make the jute twine rope longer so that it hangs a bit higher. Because what I found is that on this side, the backing of the frame was fine, but this side here, I didn't place it in, I should have placed it over a little bit more. I placed it too much into the center. And what I found is when I went to hang it, it was pulling a little bit on the backing of the frame. Now it still was fine and I can hang it up that way, but I didn't really like that myself. So I probably will be changing that and just placing the jute twine in the center. This way it will be on the popsicle sticks. I will add my E6000 glue and hot glue and let that dry for 24 hours. And again, just make my jute twine rope longer and hang it that way. I think it's just going to be more sturdy that way. But for the time being, I did find a new place where I want to place this, and I really love where I am putting it. So it will just be leaning up against the wall on top of my antique china cabinet. So I'm gonna go ahead, put it in place, and show you what it looks like. All right, everyone, so here is my fall decor piece, and I absolutely love how this has turned out. I want to apologize for the lighting. It is so dreary and gloomy today, and I just don't have the lighting to really brighten it up a lot more so that you can see it better, but I hope you can see it well enough. So this is such a beautiful decor piece that you can make for your home for all the seasons by just changing out the inside panels of each picture frame. And I love how the colors go with the buffalo check scarf. It just really is all around such an easy DIY to put together, and it didn't even cost that much money for such a large piece. It was around $10, and I do have a couple of the metal words left over, as well as the self-adhesive tabs, and there wasn't very much gluing to put this together. A little bit for the window pane, but the wreath was really simple, and I just love how it has all come together. Now there is one other thing that I did add to this. I didn't include it with the list of supplies because the original DIY was just as it is here, as you see it. But of course, I love to really admire decor pieces during the day as well as the night. So I did add something to this, and I'm gonna go ahead and show you that now. Okay guys, well, you might have guessed it. I did add some wire LED lights from the Dollar Tree to this piece. Now I only used 2 sets. This year the lights came 12 on a strand. So I used one for the left side and one for the right, and just spread it out evenly between all the picture frames. I did tape the strand to the inside glass of the picture frame. This way, when I want to change the backing out, I really don't have to worry about the lights. I can just change the backing to go with whatever season or occasion, and my lights are always going to stay where I want them. And I just absolutely love this piece with or without the lights, but now I definitely can enjoy this piece at night as well as during the day. I also went ahead and just added 4 little strands or just little picks of baby's breath, as well as the Dollar Tree pumpkin clip. I believe that you get 3 in a package when you buy those, and I just added 1 to the center. But I wanted to show you how great and easy this is to decorate when doing these types of wreaths, because there's so many slots that you can just tuck everything in or clip it on, and it's very easy to change out whenever you want. So guys, that will do it for this Dollar Tree fall decor piece. I really hope that you enjoyed it. This is definitely a great piece to make. It is so easy, so inexpensive for such a large piece. And again, it's something that you can enjoy during the day, during the night, and every season. So if you enjoyed this DIY, and I really hope you did, please give this video a thumbs up. Share the video if you can. It greatly helps my channel. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I really hope that you do. As always, guys, you take care of yourselves, and I hope to catch you in my next video. Bye-bye.